Hello friends, welcome to Live Traveling. Today we'll see
San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, complete travel guide. Things to do. San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, Indiana, the dry grassland and desert of the central Mexican heartland. San Miguel de Allende is a World Heritage City with a large community of artists as well as retirees from the United States and Canada. San Miguel's name was changed in 1826 in honor of Ignacio Allende, a commander in the insurgency during the Mexican War of Independence. You could say that San Miguel was a cradle for the independence cause, as Miguel Hidalgo, a key figure in the struggle, was a priest at the city's Parroquia de San Miguel Arcángel church. The city prospered in the colonial period through gold and silver mining, and that wealth is evident in its bold Baroque monuments and mansions. San Miguel is a joy to photograph, with scurrying streets flanked by houses painted in earthy tones of green, yellow and red. 1. Parroquia de San Miguel Arcángel. On San Miguel's main plaza, or Jardín Allende, the parish church is the symbol of the city and can't be compared to any religious building in Mexico. The monument goes back to the 1600s, but the neo-Gothic facade was designed in 1880 by Zeferino Gutierrez. He was an indigenous bricklayer and self-taught architect, and is believed to have referred to lithographs and postcards of European cathedrals for inspiration. The interior layout hasn't changed since the 17th century, and just by the entrance is a plaque commemorating the independence leader Miguel Hidalgo's time as a priest at this church. To the side is the smaller Santa Escuela de Cristo church, dating to the 1740s. 2. Sanctuary of Atotonilco. Included in the same World Heritage Site as Santiago de Allende, the Sanctuary of Atotonilco is a Baroque church complex 12 kilometers to the north. The sanctuary was founded by Jesuits in 1740 and built with high walls, giving it the appearance of a fortress. The church is essential for the murals and oil paintings adorning its interior, regarded as one of the high points of New Spanish Baroque art. The oil paintings are the work of Juan Rodriguez Juárez, while the breathtaking murals of the life of Jesus, the Passion and Last Judgment were painted by Miguel Antonio Martínez de Pocasanger and reflect the intersection of European and indigenous cultures happening in Mexico at the time. During the Mexican War of Independence, Miguel Hidalgo took a banner of the Virgin of Guadalupe from this church, and it became the banner of the insurgent forces. 3. Cañada de la Virgen. 30 kilometers west of San Miguel, the Cañada de la Virgen is worth every second of the trip. Set on private property, this Otomi city thrived between the 6th and 11th centuries and was only surveyed for the first time in 2002 and opened for visitors in 2011. You could say that the Otomi people lived their whole lives according to the sun and the cycle of the moon and Venus, and all of the monuments at Cañada de la Virgen have been shown to be astronomically aligned. The most important monument for observing the sky was the pyramidal House of the 13 Heavens, which you're allowed to climb. Consider visiting with a guide who will be able to explain the sophisticated configuration of the monuments. For El Jardín, the plaza in front of the Parroquia de San Miguel Arcángel is the first place to come to feel the pulse of the city. As well as the parish church, the square is fronted by the Palacio Municipal, Town Hall, and the Casa Ignacio Allende, which we'll visit later. El Jardín was plotted in the French formal style, and its Indian laurel trees have even been topiaried into perfect cylinders. Pause a moment on a wrought iron bench to take in the scene, and see the ice cream vendors and shoe shiners hard at work. There are roaming mariachi bands most days, and regular musical performances in the central bandstand on weekends. 5. Charco del Ingenio. This botanical garden is just past San Miguel's western limits on the south shore of the Presa Las Colonias reservoir. The garden shows off the full diversity of Mexico's cactus and other succulent species, and many of the examples planted here are endangered. Setting off from the visitor center, the trail leads past delightful botanical displays and remnants of a Viceroy-era irrigation system, and up to scenic vantage points for birdwatching. There's an interactive garden for children to see, smell and touch, while regular workshops are organized for little ones. Guided tours of the park are provided on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. 6. Juárez Park. Central. San Miguel's largest green space, the well-maintained Juárez Park is another place where people gather for public celebrations. In early November, during the 5-day La Calica that coincides with Dia de Muertos, there will be face painting, decorated skulls everywhere, and even more vendors selling food and souvenirs. On a typical day you'll happen upon artists selling their work, while yoga, tai chi and Zumba classes take place under the dense foliage. Paths wind off into the greenery, leading to fountains, a sweet wrought iron bandstand. Around early February the Candelaria Flower Fair unfolds in the park, organizing a program of events and adding even more color. 7. Museo Casa Ignacio Allende, Museo Histórico. San Miguel de Allende was one of the places where the rebellion and push for independence gained momentum in the 1810s. This building was the family home of Ignacio Allende, a captain in the Spanish army who came to fight alongside the independence leader Miguel Hidalgo, leading the independence forces before being captured and executed in 1811. The museum maps out these events, presenting a biography of Ignacio Allende, together with a broader history of the town in the 16th, 17th and 18th centuries, beginning with its birth as a mission. Especially interesting are the details of the area's historic gold and silver deposits, a major source of Spain's colonial income. Upstairs you can take a look at the family apartments, decorated with representative 19th century furniture. 8. Centro Cultural Ignacio Ramírez El Nigromante, Bellas Arts. Just 2 blocks from El Jardín, this cultural center is run by the Mexican National Institute of Fine Arts. This fine 18th century building was originally a convent, and after a few fallow decades was revived as the Escuela de Bellas Arts in the 1930s. There's a notice board at the entrance explaining what exhibitions are on. If you're just doing some idle sightseeing, the center is free and the cloisters with 2 levels of arcades is very photogenic. You'll find murals by the likes of the 20th century painter David Alfaro Siqueiros, and the rooms on the lower level around the courtyard are all galleries and studios. Classes, seminars and workshops take place on the level above, while in the northwest corner is an auditorium staging performances during the Cervantino Festival every October. 9. Fábrica La Aurora, a light walk from El Jardín. Fábrica La Aurora is an art and cultural center in a former textile mill. This operated from 1902 to 1991 and lay empty until the first artists set up their studios in the factory in 2004. Before long the Fábrica La Aurora was the hub for San Miguel's burgeoning art community, hosting furniture workshops, art galleries and shops for jewelry, interior design, embroidery and antiques. The biggest draws are the workshop galleries where you can watch artists' creative processes in action, while there are 3 cafes and restaurants around the patio. 10. Mask Museum. This attraction is not for profit, with proceeds going to a local nursery. Over nearly 30 years, the amateur anthropologist Bill Louvasseur has assembled a collection of more than 500 ceremonial masks from all corners of the country. For the most part these were produced in isolated indigenous communities that Bill would visit to document traditional rituals. A curious thing about these masks is that they would often only be used once for one event before being destroyed or sold off. Complementing the many striking creations are photos, videos, and enlightening descriptions. Bill and his wife Heidi are normally around to field any questions you might have.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe.